Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to this week's Whips and Bits. What have I got for you this week? Come on, let's go and see. Okay, so my video outage this week was a bit strange compared to my normal days I picked. I am so sorry, but that's just the way it went this week. Trying to get stuff out and it didn't quite work. Right, so the first video I had up for you this week was I Challenge You, Poppy Brooch Challenge 2023. Now I understand that some of you may be looking for a project that's that 100-day jobby. You could teamwork them. You could put them both together, both of these challenges, and plan to make 100 poppies over that 100 days, because the poppies take no more than 20 minutes each to make. I've actually got some news on poppies. I've had some photos come in and I will show you them later on. But yeah, you could, in theory, run both of these challenges together. I really don't mind, because at the end of the day it is going to benefit either the Royal British Legion or of course your local military association if there is a different one in your country. Also remember to check the description of that video, because I may have found places for you to pop those poppies when it's coming up closer to either the 11th of November or of course Anzac Day if you're over in the UK, Australia, or any other celebration. If you know of one for your country, like the big one, can you pop a comment in the comment section of that video, and then I will be able to transfer your information over, of course, to the description box, so that other people in your country will find out all about it too, and then they'll realise that the poppies they make won't go to waste. Thank you. Okay, now the next video up was the Oh No Minis intro. Now this was not an instructional video, okay, this was a oh dear, things went slightly wrong video. You can laugh and giggle at it, you can go, oh gosh, what's she going to do? But of course this is Sunday, so if you was floating around the channel on Friday, you will have known what I did with that item that I attempted to make on my broken Centro. Yeah. So of course that leads me beautifully into the next video. Now this was a premiere. It was for this week's Fun Day Die Day. Now please remember there are only going to be 2 of these a month at the moment, because I'm not selling enough of the yarn that I've made. All of the ones sitting behind me are from previous videos and are all up for sale. So if you see one that you like or you'd like to see a little bit closer, find me over an email. And I will tell you, 1, how much they cost, 2, how much postage is. If you're outside of the UK, it is extremely steep. There's nothing I can do about that. I've tried to get it down as best as possible. But yeah, I will fire you over an email with a photograph with the ones that either I've got left, or of course photographs of the one that you have chosen, so that you can have another look, and I can even point you in the direction of the Fun Day Die Day video, so you can see it being made, and of course what it looked like a little bit better. Right, let's get away from trying to flog them ones so I can make new ones. Okay, and then the last video up was actually on Saturday. Now Saturday of course is not one of my normal upload days, but I just had to do it. It was, of course, the shout out video for the written pattern release of these two beautiful items. I have to say it, I made them. Okay, and one is, of course, oh, that way, the little bird blanket, and now the other one is for this little bird cushion. Now there are tutorials that will come up at a later point on the channel for the little bird cushion, okay, but there will not be tutorials come up for the blanket. In the written pattern that is now available, it's got a lot of information in it. Loads and loads. There's 12 pages of info. Of course, if you choose to print it out, you can remove page 1 and page 12 to save yourself a heck of a lot of ink. Okay, so page 1 and page 12, that can go. So in theory, if you're printing it out, there's only 10 pages. It still sounds bad, doesn't it? But the reason behind this is it's not the same as my winner only patterns. If you purchase a paid for pattern, I go into a lot more detail. You have information, of course, on written information on how to do the stitch to start with. It talks you through all of that. Then you get your charts, and you get your box counts, and you get video links. This week has been insane because for this one pattern alone, there are 4 videos just for the bird section. So they had to be made. Then there is another new video in the my reference sections for the C2C, which is a join as you go method. Yeah. Loads of videos. But within the written pattern, you are getting hyperlinks to 8 different tutorials that are either on the channel or will be on the channel minus one. One of those is, of course, the edging, which is what I've called an Edwardian style. Sorry, I have issues pronouncing that word. Yeah, so it's an Edwardian style border. Now, that is written in the pattern, and there is also a video to accompany that section. Okay, but of course, if you are purchasing the pattern, they're the bits you get, and of course you have access to all of those patterns now, like, as soon as you've purchased it, basically. Yay! Right, let's get off of promoting them ones. I'm not the best, remember. Right, so what else have I been up to this week? Number 1, I'm going to mention them because, like, I can't remember if I did it last week. It's poppies. Okay, so of course we have got the hashtag Poppy Brooch Challenge 2023, which I did just speak about a few moments ago, but my poppy count. Technically, I have completed the challenge for this, my personal challenge for this year. Okay, I'm going to be open and honest. I've done the 400 now, which means I can get on with other stuff. Because of course I only keep 2 projects on the go at a time, otherwise it does do my noggin in. So I have completed the 400 for this year, which brings my overall total up to 3,000 made and soon to be donated, those extra ones. Okay, so that's not 3,000 I've made this year, that's just the 400 to make it up. Okay, don't you dare try and get me to make more. That's just evil. But yeah, so now what I'm gonna do is every other month I'll have a little bit of a chat about the poppy challenge, of course, because what I'm going to do is add an extra row in with, oh, put your glasses back on, in with Captain Tom. I've got to be careful because he's falling over. But yeah, so each one of these rows here, I'll try and get it so there's not too much of a glare. Each one of these rows is the equivalent to 100 poppies. Don't panic, there is spare that didn't fit in my big brown boxes behind me here. Each one of them boxes holds 180. Yay! So I've got 40 sitting in a spare box that I'm using for this. Okay, so this is cheeky Captain Tom. It won't be long until he falls out, but there we go. Yep, so each, as I said, each one of those represents 100 poppies that I've spoken about on the channel. Only 2 more of these updates to go, gang. Only 2. All right, what else was there? Yeah, so if any of you are copying this sort of idea for showing something that you're making multiples of, you can either stuff each layer in with all of the ones that you want, or in my case, because I didn't have enough to do that, I've made myself a little platform. Okay, and these little platforms boxes from deliveries, thank you husband. I've cut strips, okay, to the height of the poppy in its bag. Okay, so let's grab another one. So to the height of the poppy in his bag. Okay, then I roll it backwards and forwards across my leg, and then sit there and create folds in it, sort of every ½ an inch or centimetre or whatever measurement you want. But basically just sit there and pop it. Oh, let's see that way. Yep, sit there and pop it. Get out of the way, like that. Okay, once that's completed, well, actually before I'd even done that, I had to cut out some circles. Thank you, cereal box. So I'd measured around the top of this, and then when it came to cutting it out, I knew that I had to take away a section for, of course, the lip of this. So once I'd got one that fitted, I then drew around it multiple times. And basically what I do is I twist this, I stick it in, I shove my poppies around, and then I pop the disc on top. And of course, once the poppies are sitting in front, oh sorry, so it looks like that. Once the poppies are sitting in front, that means then that the larger lump of cardboard, the corrugated section, shrinks in size, so it supports the cereal lid. And that's how I did it. So now it's just a case of popping a Captain Tom back in. I don't know how long he's going to last in here. I really think I should have brought a longer vase, but hey, it was on special and it was cheap as chips. Okay, and of course, oh, spin round you, he is gonna be sitting up there, so you lot get to see him every video, because I'm an evil wench. Every video. Now for an update on the shawl that I showed you last week. Now it is a pattern by our gorgeous Ursula over on OM Granny Square. Crochet triangular lace shawl, or better known as the Beautiful Friends shawl. Now she's done this in a 2/8 cotton, I believe. Absolutely a beautiful her one, but I didn't have cotton, so if you didn't see it last week's, I'm doing it in DK and a 4mm hook, so mine's not going to be as floaty as hers. Mine's going to be more solid, so it's going to be more of a winter item for me. Hey, most of my stuff is, because here in the UK it's always flipping cold. Right, I'm not going to tell you what row I'm up to, because my row counts are not the same as Ursula's. Yeah, I'll explain that in a little bit when we get to it, but I'm just going to quickly show you how far I've got. I've got that far. Okay, now I'm not going to give you too much detail, but I'm now at the section where beading is done. But of course, with the DK, I chose not to use beads because I would have needed a bigger hole for it to get through. So I was like, no, I'm not doing the beads. Not only that, I'm bound to get them caught on stuff. So this little section here is where the beads would have been added. Here's my problem. It's my mistake. I have the written pattern. I'm checking the written pattern. I'm also going to the tutorial and watching the tutorial with every row that she does that I'm doing. And I still mucked up. Okay. I've added an extra row on this solid section here. Oh well, it matches the rest of them. But yeah, I added an extra row here, and I only realised this last night after I was because I was working on this next section down, and she'd said 3 rows, and I'm thinking 3 rows? Check the pattern. Oh, it's 3 rows. And then I went, Oh, no wonder my stitch count has been out all of this section here because of that extra row I added. But it's all right, I fudged it. So now I'm on to the next row with these little sections here in. And of course, because this row, this set had 4 rows, I made this one match, which means I'm now fudging this section. Oh, it takes forever. But what I've also done is I've just been opening up new 50-gram balls of each colour on these sections here, and yeah, that took pretty much just over 50 grams. I am scared now. I'm slightly running yarn chicken on the colours, and I've been naughty because I haven't read the pattern all the way through or watched the video all the way through. Ursula's going to come and tell me off. But yeah, so I don't know how many more rows I've got to go. So Ursula may end up getting her wish, because she did say on one of her lives a couple of weeks ago that she would like to see it in stripes of one colour, so each row being a different colour. That may be what the bottom of mine ends up like. But you're just going to have to stay tuned to the channel and wait and see what happens. Fingers crossed I'll have it finished with a proper update for you next week, and that'll include any extra alterations that I've made. But I'll tell you a little bit now. When working this section here with these bobbly bits, I'll call them bobbly bits for now. If you've got the written pattern or you're watching Ursula's tutorial, you know what she calls them. Well, when I did it following her directions exact, mine looked like beer barrels. I could have renamed this shawl the Drunken Friends shawl, but it didn't. But what I did do was take a photograph of that, and then how I'd modified that stitch just slightly by omitting 2 pullovers. You'll understand if you're watching her video, of course, or reading her tutorial. I omitted 2 pullovers so that it meant that that stitch was a lot smaller. What I'll do now is I'll stick a photo in of the photo that I put up on her on her Facebook page, so that if you are following along that pattern and you haven't quite got to this bit yet, and you're like, okay, so how am I going to make this look like hers looks using DK weight yarn? You now know. So for crochet this week, it was the shawl, and it was of course these 2 guys here, and all of the video and all of the editing and everything else. My bottom sore. I've been sitting on this chair from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening every day this week, only getting up to use the loo or to get food. Been doing my nutting, proper nutting. But hey, he's done. He's dusted the patterns out, the written patterns out. So remember to check that I button up the top there, and go over and grab yourself a copy of the pattern if you fancy it. What else is there? For those of you that haven't had a chance to watch Friday's Fun Day Die Day, and you don't want a spoiler, look away and I will shout when you can look back. But here it is. Here is the yarn. I haven't done what I said I was going to do yet. It's just been sitting like this. Okay, for any of you that need a reminder, basically I was going to re-soak it, stretch it so that it goes straight, but I haven't got round to it yet. Okay, well, at least not as of Friday the 10th when I'm recording this. If somebody has chosen to purchase it, mind, I will ask them whether they want me to soak it again or not. It might sound horrible. I'm hoping nobody purchases this one. I want it. But of course you guys get first dibs. So here's a quick look at it. I'm sorry the lighting in here is ridiculous, But what I will do in a moment is I will pop up the same photographs that I used for Fun Day Die Day, so that you can have a look a bit better. But this was the yarn that was created by using the sock and the knit blank from the Oops video. Okay, so that was the Oops Centro video. I love it, and I wish I could reproduce it, but the Centro's broken and I ain't buying a new one. And to be honest, it's a heck of a lot of work. Just sitting there cranking out the panel, heck of a lot of work. Look back! Sorry if I made you jump. Now it's time for the bestest bit. It's your photographs. Okay, so earlier on this week, pretty much within an hour of the Crochet Poppy Challenge video going up, I had a message on Facebook from our beautiful Sarah, and her channel of course is a Crafty Moo Sarah. I will make sure there is a link to her channel in the description box down below. Now she sent me this photo. Have a look. But Sarah's messages didn't stop. A little bit later, I got this picture. So of course the messages were firing backwards and forwards throughout the evening, and I asked Sarah how quickly she was able to make them, because of course I haven't timed how long it takes me for quite a while, and of course I will have speeded up a little bit. You'd hope anyway. And Sarah turned around and said it took her 9.5 minutes to make the poppy front and the leaf and sew it together, and that she just needed to time how long it took her to sew the brooch back on. I bow down to you, you speed demon, was pretty much my response. But of course she didn't have a visual. She does now. But later on that evening, I was shocked. There was a picture that appeared up on the Facebook group, and another one that appeared over on Insta. And Sarah also shouted out the pattern and the challenge as well over on her own channel. Thank you ever so much, darling. But this was how many she'd done before she put her hook down and went on to do something else that evening. Yep, our cheeky crafty moo Sarah made 5. Now she seems to have been bitten by the poppy bug, because she said that she may in fact carry on making some more poppies, because she is associated with her local branch of the Royal British Legion. So she's going to contact them, see if they want them, and make a few more maybe. I'm just going to have to wait and see. Although I did say that day I didn't want to know her poppy count at that point and to surprise me. So she definitely did surprise me with that last photograph. And I've got a feeling that she may surprise me a bit more either this week, next week, or even the week after. So send in pictures when you feel like it, Sarah. Right, so I'm in the middle of my editing. Thought I was all done and dusted for today, and I get a ping through on my emails. Guess who else has joined in on this year's Poppy Brooch Challenge? It's our cheeky DinkyKrafts Jennifer. So she's decided she's joining in as well. Now her message did make me giggle a little bit. She said every time she sorts through her yarn she comes across another poppy. Now she made her poppies around 2018 to 2019, before of course COVID hit. She used to make them for work, and would hand them over to the Royal British Legion, and of course they had a stall in October and November before the 11th. she also made a one-off soldier with a mini poppy, and that sold for £10. Wow, that is amazing. So she said she is going to do some more this year, and challenge accepted. So she sent me a photograph of the poppy that she keeps finding in her craft room. Now, it's a knitted one, I think. I have sent her a reply. We'll see what she responds with. But yeah, definitely looks like a knitted one to me. You'll save more yarn and be able to make them quicker if you crochet. I did tell her that in the email that I responded back with. But here you go. Here's her photo. Yeah, the first one was knitted. Our cheeky Dinky plans to use the crochet tutorial that's up on this channel. So fingers crossed she'll be speeding them out as quickly as Crafty Moo Sarah. And the last photograph I have for you today is a image that was sent over from our gorgeous Sabrina Melliger. Now, as some of you know, she actually challenged me to dye some yarn a little while back, and she has sent me a photograph, only a small clip it mind, of her work in progress. Now, it is knitted, and so it's going to take her a lot longer to do. Now, she may have already finished this one, but I don't know, because I haven't chased her for an update. I'm trying not to bug the poor girl with, have you done any more rows yet? Have you done any more rows yet? Have you done any more rows yet? Because yeah, that's how loopy I can be in private. So here is a photograph of her work so far, or at least as far as it was when she sent me the photo a good few weeks ago now. It's absolutely stunning. I love how she's mixed the black with, of course, the yarn that she purchased from me. That knitting, the work itself is absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see what that extra image is within her knitted work, because of course it started off black, my yarn, black, my yarn, black, my yarn, and now a few rows in it goes black, lots of my yarn, black, bit more of my yarn. So it is forming a really cool image on there. What on earth is it, Sabrina? Right, that is it for me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I will see you all really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody.